Indianapolis and at home against Tampa Bay. Now, this may seem impossible, but the Giants can still make the playoffs. Simple. They've got to win all three. The Redskins have to lose all three. The Packers have to lose two. And the Falcons, of all people, have to lose one.
Well, what are the Falcons doing still in the race? That's what I want to know. It doesn't look good for the Giants, but that word mathematically is in use here for sure.
You have heard the phrase late arriving crowd. This is almost a non-arriving crowd. 56 degrees. That passes for absolutely chilly weather in Phoenix. Possible showers throughout the afternoon. And here is Ken Willis, who will kick off for the 4th time since joining the New York Giants after Matt Barr's injury. Taken by Eric Blunt. He comes left and is knocked down as he gets to the 23-yard line. It'll be Chris Chandler at quarterback. He has been quite a surprise for Joe Bugle in the offense. 9th rated in the NFL, and he is joined up front by Louis Sharp and Mark May on the left side. A hobbled Bill Lewis, who will try and go today. Lance Smith and Danny Villa on the right side of the offensive line. It's Johnson at the running back spot, Ricky Prohl, Randall Hill at the wide receivers. The H-back Butch Roll, and the tight end is Walter Reeves. First down and 10 from the 23. That is Roll in motion. The handoff. Johnny Johnson gets by Carl Banks and moves it out to the 29-yard line. Banks finally given credit for the tackle, but he was carried much of the way. It's Dorsey, Howard, and Marshall up front. Banks and Johnson, along with Ed Reynolds and Corey Miller. The other linebackers, Mark Collins, Perry Williams on the corners, and Greg Jackson and Myron Guyton off the injured reserve list, where he has spent most of the season at strong safety. 2nd and 4 from the 29. It's Carl Banks, who was involved in the altercation with Ray Handley at halftime of last week's loss to the Washington Redskins, in which no fists were thrown, but as we learned before, the forearms were tossed. Here's Johnson, and he struggles out near the 32.5, 33-yard line.
Johnson has had some success against the Giants in the past. This year he's been nicked up, it seems like, every week. He's battling a sore groin today, but the Cardinals really need a big day out of Johnson on the ground. But the advantage the Cardinals have now is probably number 17 in the huddle. And not Jim Hart, the great quarterback that used to play for the St. Louis Cardinals, but Chris Chandler. He has really improved and really taken over the leadership on this football team through his consistent and tough play.
On 3rd and 1, Larry Centers, number 37, enters the lineup. Derek Ware is also in as an extra blocking tight end. 3rd and 1. Flag is down. The first down is made plus yardage by Johnson out to the 47. Myron Guyton makes the tackle. Here is Bernie Kukar.
There was no play. There was no play.
Bring it back. That means illegal motion and a false start, I'm sure. And there's a player down at the 31-yard line.
It appeared Chandler got the Giants to jump off sides. That's Mark Collins down.
5-yard penalty results in the first down.
And he did. One of the Giants came across and made contact. That's why the play was whistled dead. That's unfortunate for the Cardinals because they got a nice little gain out of it. This is Eric Howard working against Lewis. You see him just bump helmets, and that's called encroachment, making contact in that neutral zone. That's one of those plays, though, you wish you didn't have to take that penalty, because that was a nice gain of 15 yards by Johnny Johnson.
Here's a final. The other game played today. Buffalo wins, halting a 2-game losing streak. Denver falls for the 4th consecutive time without John Elway. Mark Collins is the injured player, and he is still down. Time has been called at receiving the medical attention on the Giant bench. His spot has been taken by a young man, first-year player from Arizona State, Philippi Sparks, number 22. Played high school ball in California, came over here collegiately, and bought 76 tickets for friends and family today, which means he accounted for approximately 1/4 of the crowd.
He bought a whole section.
They're having obvious problems selling tickets here in Phoenix. The crowd today expected to be between 30 and 33,000. That's about less than half capacity. First down and 10. And a delay call after the timeout.
Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Joe Bugle might have forgotten that they administratively set it at 25 seconds rather than 45 after an injury timeout, or what they call an administrative stoppage of play. And it cost him 5 yards.
That
makes it
is real embarrassing for Bugle and for Chandler, but it's kind of symptomatic of why this team is 3-10, having to get a delay penalty off of the timeout.
And the defensive play is made up at the 32-yard line. Eric Dorsey on Johnny Johnson. We've been told that's the first delay of game call against the Cardinals all season long. The injury report on Mark Collins is he was kicked in the ribs, but he may be back. They will tape him up and try and send him back on the field.
I think Johnny Johnson stepped on those ribs on that 15-yard run.
Second down and 14. No score, opening moments of the ball game. Giants won the first meeting between the two, 31-21. Here's a draw play, and that one doesn't get much. Eric Howard, the nose tackle, number 74, comes over and makes the stop.
One of the things with Felipe Sparks in the games, Vern, will be the change in the nickel coverage for the Giants. Collins is the starting left corner. Well, that puts Felipe out there at left corner. Now the Giants have to go to lesser personnel for their nickel package.
McGriggs and Renee Thompson are in the lineup right now for New York. It's 3rd and 13. No score in the game. 10:54 in the opening quarter. Chandler chased by Banks, caught by Banks, sacked by Banks. That is his 3rd sack of the season and a loss of 12.
And do the Giants ever need it? Only 18 sacks coming into the game. From right in the middle here, watch Banks just continue to break through 2 men blocking on him, both Smith and Lewis, and chase down the quarterback. 3 sacks on the year for Carl Banks, and that's a great start for a guy that really needs it.
Rich Camarillo is on, and Dave Meggett ready to return it at the 38-yard line. That will take a Cardinal bounce and stop inside the 40. Finally limps to arrest at the 35-yard line. That is a 38-yard punt, nothing on the return. And now they'll move it back to the 40-yard line where it was first touched. Kent Graham will get the start, his 3rd of the season, an 8th-round draft choice at Ohio State, who started his collegiate career at Notre Dame. Up front, it's Elliott, Roberts, Bart Oates after Brian Williams was put on injured reserve. Bob Cratchit, right guard. Eric Moore did not make the trip. Running backs are Hampton and Bunch. The wide receivers Ingram and Callaway, and the tight end is Howard Cross. 1st and 10 from the 40. See if the Giants can run again on this Cardinal defense. But they'll try play action on 1st down. And the pass intended for Mark Ingram is incomplete at the Cardinal 40-yard line. The Cardinals open with what they call the big nickel defense. The front 4 are Jones, Swann, Rucker, and Davis. 2 linebackers, Garth Jacks for an injured Eric Hill and Tyrone Stowe, and 5 defensive backs. On the corners, Williams and Massey. 2 strong safeties, McDonald and Lorenzo Lynch, and the weak safety is Mike Zordich. 2nd and 10. Hampton runs into Eric Hill, who is in the lineup. We were told that Hill might not be able to go, but he's there, number 58, and makes the tackle.
And you may look at that defense and say, well, it's got to be weak against the run because they have 5 defensive backs in the game. But with 2 players like McDonald and Lynch, you have very strong tacklers. In fact, McDonald's the #1 tackler on the team, and that's not good when your weak safety is your #1 tackler. That means too many guys are getting through the line and the linebackers. But with this big nickel, they've been very effective at shutting down the run. Only 2 yards that time.
Dave Meggett comes in on third down. 2 wide receivers split wide to the left, 1 wide right. It's McCaffrey. Out of the shotgun, 5-man rush. And the pass is caught by Howard Cross in front of Derek Davis, who went for the interception. Tim McDonald makes the tackle.
That's a real good start for Kent Graham, because he doesn't know exactly how long he's going to play today. If he plays well and he's within getting the offense going and there's a natural rhythm of the offense, success going down the field, passes to his tight end, he's going to play a lot. But if he doesn't, we can expect to see Dave Brown at any time. Both quarterbacks a little bit in the dark as far as their playing time is concerned.
On first down and 10, Rodney Hampton gets it and goes left. He needs 29 yards in the ground today to go over 1,000 yards for the season. And as we indicated, he had a huge day, a career best, the first time these two teams met, with 167 yards.
But that's a totally different defense. Now watch this big man here. This is Keith Rucker. We talked about him being about 350 pounds. Well, he's a great athlete as well as being a big man. He'll fight off the block of William Roberts there, just slide out and take the legs away from Rodney Hampton. And that's why this big nickel is now the base defense for the Phoenix Cardinals.
The Giants have gone to what is essentially their third down passes, their long yardage passes, as Meggett has come in the lineup, and Dave Meggett gets it on the draw play. Fumble! Cardinals recover at the 30. Only the 11th fumble lost by the Giants this year. Recovered by McDonald at the 30.
And it appeared nobody hit him, Vern. It looked like he got through in the secondary, and then the ball just slipped out of his hands. There's Doerson. Maybe it's Doerson. No, even before Doerson or Zordich got there, the ball came loose, and Tim McDonald falls on it for his 3rd fumble recovery of the year.
Time has been called, and the Chiefs Cardinals have the ball for the 2nd time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 30 following the Meggett fumble. They've gone with a heavy package now, 2 tight ends. And here's Johnson, play fake, and Chandler fires it deep, and it is incomplete. It is caught. Wow, what a grab by Derek Ware, his first catch of the year.
Well, they come with the heavy set, 3 tight ends, as you said, Vern, and Ware is just going to find a huge opening in the secondary, and Chandler almost overthrows him. Makes it a real difficult grab for him, and I think he got a little help there from Sparks. May have knocked the ball into him. Here's the fumble on Meggett, and that's why they call it the pigskin. Just slipped right out of his hands before anybody made contact with him.
1st down and 10 on Derek Ware's first catch of the season. The ball at the 44-yard line. No score over the quarter. Sweep to the left side with Johnson, strung out by Ed Reynolds, who makes the initial contact. Reynolds, who took Steve Diassi's place in the starting lineup after Diassi went down with an injury.
And Reynolds is real important to this defense. He is a veteran player who can provide some leadership on a team, a defensive team that really is lacking that leadership since Lawrence Taylor was injured.
2nd down at the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 11. Two wide receivers come to the left side, 1 wide right. Prohl in motion. Giants adjust defensively. Quick setup. That ball is knocked down. And then caught. It was deflected by Carl Banks. And Randall Hill made the catch for a gain of 3.
That's really unusual and kind of amazing that a pass can be deflected at the line of scrimmage and then still carry all the way out to the receiver. That shows me that quarterback has a pretty strong arm. Chris Chandler.
Chandler, who was expected to back up Tim Rosenbaugh this year, but Rosenbaugh, fighting back from that very serious injury of last season, not as effective, and Chandler has come on and has been a spark plug for the Cardinals. 3rd down and 8. Larry Centers back in the offensive lineup. Chandler chased by Banks. The pass is caught and complete at the 42, but it'll be for negative yardage. It was Eric Blunt who made the grab.
And it's 2 guys in the Giant defense that have made big plays again. Again, the pressure that time was from Carl Banks, and then it was Pepper Johnson making a real sure tackle there, preventing a third down conversion for the Cardinals.
Make it back to return the second punt, or attempt to return it. Last one limped to a stop. That one is short. Meggett comes up, makes the fair catch at the 24-yard line. We have no score. We're midway through the first quarter, 4:41 remaining. Giants have it back.
This is Anthony Edwards with the double team of Callaway and Sparks. Sparks gives him one shot, then Callaway knocks him out of bounds, and now it's still Sparks taking a swat with the left hand. What a way to make a living.
Well, the Cardinals have not drawn well since they moved here from St. Louis. But Bill Bidwell apparently has at least one member of the fan club. Bill Bidwell is the owner of the Cardinals. I'd say there's a touch of sarcasm to that sign. Hampton goes left, a lot of room. And a pretty good pop downfield. That's a gain of 11 for Rodney Hampton.
Yeah, and Robert Massey is going to meet number 27 here. Number 40 for the Cardinals is going to come up after fighting off a block, and he just gets launched out of bounds. Nice gain of 10 yards for the Giants.
Buffalo defeated Denver earlier this afternoon by 10. Broncos with a late comeback that fell short. First down and 10 at the 36. This time Hampton is met at the line of scrimmage and driven down after a gain of a couple. And the Division III championship, the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl, was settled today. Wisconsin lacrosse wins it. That is Tom Newberry's alma mater. Newberry, who was a fine offensive lineman for the Los Angeles Rams. Wisconsin lacrosse wins it by 4.
Of course, Rodney Hampton just needs 13 more yards to gain 1,000 yards on the season. Quite an accomplishment.
Second down and 9. They fake the reverse, and Hampton slips and falls and then tries to get up, doesn't gain anything. It'll be 3rd and long. Eric Hill got in the middle of it.
Again, it's kind of a symptom of the way that things have gone for the Giants all year long. Hampton's just going to fall down. He just kind of trips on this bad sod here at Sun Devil Stadium. But we saw Meggett drop a fumble with nobody around him, or at least no contact. And now Hampton just falls down.
In expectation of rainstorms, there was a tarp placed on the field overnight. Rain didn't accumulate in any substantial degree, but the field is soft and getting chewed up. Graham under pressure, lets it go, incomplete. A lot of zip on the ball. Callaway couldn't hang on. Chris Callaway, it'll be 4th down.
That's a big league play by Kent Graham. He had Tim McDonald coming straight at him, stood strong in the pocket, let McDonald go by, give him a stiff arm or something, and threw a nice pass that should have been caught.
It was Dave Meggett who managed to knock McDonald just off stride. Now here's Ruben Rodriguez, the 3rd punter employed by the Giants this year. Landetta went down with an injury. They tried Joe Prokop for a game, and now Rodriguez. He's a lefty, and that's a shorty. That is an awful looking punt, and Keith Rucker appreciated the fact that his team got the ball back. 38-yard punt. Or if the Eagles lose. First down and 10 at the 26-yard line. No score in the game. 2:24 remaining opening quarter. Johnny Johnson out across the 30 near the 31-yard line. The Heisman Award has gone to Miami quarterback Gino Torretta, who came on late in the season after Marshall Faulk suffered some injuries. Congratulations to him, and he will be a guest at halftime with Greg and Terry. Marshall Faulk finished 2nd. Garrison Hurst of Georgia was 3rd, followed by Marvin Jones and Reggie Brooks.
I got a feeling that because Torretta is a quarterback and a senior, that he got the nod. over the other two. Both are underclassmen. The question is, will both Hurst and Falk play next year in college or here in the NFL?
2nd and 6. Chandler flips it out. Johnny Johnson's going to get popped by Perry Williams, and then some supplemental help comes from Corey Miller. And no gain.
This is a good job of defensive football by Perry Williams. Chandler is not even looking at the corner yet. Throws the ball out here, and it's really giving his running back up for grabs there, because Williams was playing his responsibility on the outside and turned back in and held Johnson to a small gain.
Cardinals are facing their third down of the first quarter. They have yet to convert. Chris Chandler hasn't missed throwing the ball.
But he hasn't done much with those completions, only 13 yards.
Four-man rush, a quick cross. Randall Hill short of the first down. Well, wait a minute. Oh, he's going to get a really nice spot.
Yeah, a little home cooking there, a little southwestern cuisine. My goodness, he was well short of the first down. And the official said that maybe he wasn't so short of it. Christmas comes early for the Cardinals.
That is, they're going to bring the chain across, but it looks like fajitas made to order.
Yeah, I thought that when he caught the ball, he was well short of the first down. Let's see where he comes down. Looks like at about the 41 and about the 37.5 yard line. Just enough for the first down, though.
So a favorable spot by the officiating crew gives the Cardinals a first down. And they will have a fresh series of downs in the final 25 seconds of the first quarter. Neither team moving the ball thus far. Johnny Johnson still in there. Blitz. And Dorsey piles in to Johnny Johnson on the final play of the first quarter. A loss of 3 yards. That's the end of the first quarter with our score. The New York Giants nothing. The Phoenix Cardinals nothing. Ray has been practicing, or Phil has been practicing. And if he's going to be activated, it probably will be this week. Otherwise, they may use the move remaining to bring somebody else back on the active roster. Second down as we begin the second quarter. Chandler with time, good blocking, nobody open, so now he's chased by Dorsey. Gets by him, gets another downfield block and slides to the earth with a first down at the 48-yard line.
You got to admire Chandler's guts. He's playing hurt. He's got bad ribs and a bad knee, but he still has enough mobility to run away from Dorsey, number 71. And then from the left side of the screen, he's going to get away from Pepper Johnson easily. He goes into a slide and sticks in the mud. He did not slide an inch further after he hit the turf.
Picked up 14 and a first down. Neither team has been across, well, I beg your pardon, the Giants were across midfield earlier. Now it's a first down and 10 for the Cardinals, and offside would be called, I believe, on Corey Miller. And another flag comes down. So there are a couple of flags on the ground.
Appears to be multiple fouls involved in this play. Miller obviously was offsides when the ball was snapped. Now we've got holding against the Cardinals, so this play will come back offsetting penalties.
Offside, number 57 on the defense. Holding, number 51 on the offense. Penalties offset.
Matador defense, well, the most points allowed goes to Atlanta, Chicago, and then 26th and 25th, both the Cardinals and Giants on the list they'd rather not be a part of.
You would expect this to be a high-scoring game then. Not so far, 0-0.
So far. Phoenix with an edge in the first quarter in time of possession. Now Chandler, he's going deep right side for Randall Hill with Phillippe Sparks, and the catch is made by Hill. Gain. Longest of the season for Randall Hill.
And it's a perfect throw far and to the outside. That's where the receiver is. Hill pushes off, doesn't get called, makes the grab, and's knocked out inside the 5. Here he is at the bottom. Watches Hill come down and take off, but it's at the end of the play with the left hand. Hill will put it in Sparks' back. Push off at just the right instant, right there, and makes the grab.
Longest pass play of the season for Randall Hill, and a 1st and goal at the 3. Johnson moves it a couple of yards to the 1-yard line. Johnny Johnson, who made this ball club as a 7th-round draft choice 3 years ago. He's the leading ground gainer this year, but only with 341 yards. And more than half of that came in two games. He had one 102-yard game and another of 91.
And they have not gotten anything over 28 yards for a long run this year, and that's by Larry Centers, and that came in a 3rd down nickel situation. Johnson's longest run of the year is 13 yards.
2nd and goal from the 1, no score in the game. Bill Lewis over the ball. Centers is the fullback. He leads the way on the right side, and Johnson is denied and dropped at the 1. Eric Howard makes the tackle.
Watch Eric Howard, number 74. He's playing right over Bill Lewis's nose. He's going to slant to the left side and very determined to get in the backfield to make that tackle before Johnson can get airborne. So many times you'll see that deep back in the I formation down on the goal line take the dive over the top. Well, that time Howard got there before Johnson could get up.
3rd and goal from the 1. Play action. Into the flat, overthrown for roll. 4th down.
Well, you have to go for it here on 4th down. I mean, we're looking at a 3-10 team against a 5-8. If he comes out and kicks his field goal, and I believe that Joe Bugle will go for it on 4th down. But that was a terrible throw by Chris Chandler. He had Roll in the corner of the end zone. Not only did he miss him, he didn't give Roll a chance to even make an attempt at the catch.
They will go for it on 4th and goal from the 1. Centers the up back, Johnson the deep back. No. Dorsey and Banks, I believe, combined for the tackle.
And it's some of that Giant pride coming through. Remember, this team was in the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago, making plays like that. And it's Carl Banks, number 58, and Howard. Banks from the left side will come in and knife low, and again, he gets Johnson before he can get up in the air.
Goal line stand by Banks and the Giants. It's Dallas is in. They can clinch the East with some things happening. Minnesota can clinch the Central with a win or a Green Bay loss. New Orleans is in the playoffs. They can clinch a wild card. Washington is in the playoffs if I need Evelyn Woods.
What about Atlanta?
Dave Brown is the new quarterback. Jared Bunch gets the handoff. And he is down at the 1. Well, you're a 1st-round draft choice in the supplemental draft. You're about to see action for the 2nd time in the season. And your coach says, well, we got a 1st and 10 and the 2. Go ahead and go in.
Yeah, go get him, kid. The good news is you get to play. The bad news is you have to huddle in your own end zone. They barely got out of the end zone that time with a play to bunch. Tough situation for Dave Brown to come into the game standing in the end zone.
Wide split behind Brown. He is 2 of 3 throwing the ball this year. This will be his 4th pass. And he's going deep left side for Callaway, who gets tangled up with Aeneas Williams. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
This is absolutely perfect coverage by Aeneas Williams, who, if he didn't tangle up his feet with Callaway, might have made the interception. You see a little stumble right there. Now look how closely he comes to that ball. It just glanced off his left hand.
Dave Brown from Duke came in late in the loss on Thanksgiving Day to the Dallas Cowboys, was sacked 3 times in that ball game. If he's sacked here, it's going to be a safety. They've got him. Did he get out or is he in? Safety.
I tell you, using the shotgun formation is risky at any time, but it's absolutely ridiculous to use it in this situation. You've got a rookie quarterback standing in the end zone. The snap from Oates isn't that bad. It's off to the left side a little bit. Brown will bobble it. Knows his handoff to Meggett is ruined. Now he's on his own, and there's the sack for the safety. But you talk about putting your quarterback in a real difficult situation. This is why we never use the shotgun in San Diego, because all it takes is one bad snap from that center who's got a 300-pound man on his nose, snapping the ball between his legs, and you've got a disaster. Disastrous turn of events for Dave Brown, Ray Handley, and the Giants right there.
Keith Rucker, number 79, part of the big nickel defense. And Dave Brown's 4th sack of the season results in the first points of this afternoon's game.
They call for a bomb on 2nd down. That's almost intercepted. And then on 3rd down, they suffer a 2-point safety.
Bill Sims looking on with Graham and Brown. And I think Ken Graham's glad it wasn't him who was back there. Here's the free kick by Rodriguez. Eric Blunt returns it to the 41-yard line.
There are a number of teams around the league that refuse to use the shotgun formation because of the potential for disaster.
Well, it was disastrous for Dave Brown and the Giants then. And of course, as usually happens after the free kick, good field position now for the Cardinals. They've got the ball at their own 41. That is the first safety registered by the Cardinal defense this year.
I told you it was going to be a high-scoring game, Vern.
2-zip. Buffalo defeated Denver by 10. 1st and 10. Chandler in trouble. Shakes a tackle. Has some room. Gets a bit of a Doyle. He didn't get any kind of help from Randall Hill. 9-yard gain. Randall Hill tried to block. And I'm being kind when I say tried.
Well, Chandler's 6'4" and 220 pounds. An outstanding athlete. Was everything up at the state of Washington in high school. Watch him just bounce this defensive back down, keep his balance, and then take the header over the bench. What do you think, Vern? 9'5"?
Absolutely. Well, he was all-state in basketball, football, and golf. Maybe gymnastics we didn't know about at Everett High School in Everett, Washington. There's Johnson for the first down at the 45-yard line. Chris Chandler started off as a draft choice of the Indianapolis Colts. Then, of course, wandered around in the wilderness for a while, came here on waivers. And Joe Bugle said yesterday he's been a very pleasant surprise, but he thinks he can still play even better than he has.
And Chandler said the key to it is that he now has a quarterback coach in Jerry Rome who has played the position of quarterback here in the NFL. Makes a big difference.
1st and 10, Cardinals lead 2-0. 9:05 to go, first half. Blitz coming. Chandler into the flat for Johnson. Flies down the sidelines and is knocked out of bounds by Myron Guyton. But not before he picks up another Phoenix first down.
That's a good job of reading the coverage this time by Chandler. Watch the receiver on the outside take this corner with them. Now you've got Johnson on the outside chased by a linebacker. Before, the corner stayed with the wide receiver on the outside, but this is different type of coverage. It's man-to-man, and that's a perfect matchup for Phoenix.
That was a gain of 14 and a first down at the 32-yard line. 2-0. Cardinals lead. Johnson. And he plunges forward to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 7. And Pepper Johnson makes the tackle. Well, Lawrence Taylor went out with an injury in the loss to Green Bay. Since then, look at this, 0-4. They've been outgained by 560 yards and outsacked 19-5.
And prior to his injury, the Giants had won 3 in a row, and it appeared that they had things turned around. They'd only given up 24 points in those 3 wins. But since then, that devastating Achilles injury, it's been a whole new story for New York.
Second down and 3, Cardinals leading. Johnson, big hole. Needed a block from Ricky Prohl, didn't get one. And as a result, he is tackled at the 8-yard line by Philippi Sparks. Nevertheless, he gained 17.
This is the first time that Johnson has really cut back hard today. You see the slant by the Giant defense. A little bit of over pursuit there by Reynolds, and that's a huge hole on the backside. And that's something that has bothered the Giant defense all year. The slanting to one side by the defensive line and not getting the linebacker support behind it.
That has been part of the problem that Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks have talked about. First and goal in the 8. Johnson inside the 5 and down to the 4. Gain of 3. We chatted last night with the nose guard, Eric Howard, and among the things he said is everything you've ever heard about things that go bad in a losing streak is happening here. And he was specifically talking about the finger pointing going on by teammates at the coaching staff and at other teammates.
Yeah, and it's been real unprofessional by a number of Giant players going to the media with the protection of if I'll tell you all I know, you don't quote me or use me as a source, then it's open season. But that is a real symptom of a losing outfit.
Second and goal. Johnson on the sweep. In for the touchdown. Nice run. Nifty bit of work at the end of it.
And the first guy to congratulate him is Butch Roll, and he got the key block on the corner against Myron Guyton. Just an outstanding job by Roll from the right side of the screen. He's going to be fighting with Guyton on the outside here. Number 29 just holds him off long enough for Johnson to use his speed and get in the corner of the end zone.
Gain of 5 for Johnny Johnson, who now has 48 yards on 15 carries in the first half. And Greg Davis is on to try and make it a 9-0 ball game. Snap is a little high. Chandler gets it down. And Davis kicks it through. Johnny Johnson from 5 yards out. And here's the kickoff. That'll be a touchback. Dave Meggett will drop to one knee. Coming up tomorrow, a doubleheader on CBS. The first game, the 49ers at Minnesota, the key matchup. Jerry Rice and Steve Young and the 49ers head into the Met to take on a Minnesota team that needs the victory. And then that will be followed by the second game of the doubleheader. Most of you will see Dallas at Washington.
Minnesota looking to snap a 2-game losing streak and maybe looking over their shoulder at Green Bay.
Yeah, they've not got a cinch schedule at all. They've got to go to Pittsburgh next week. First down and 10. Play action. Brown, right side. Caught by Callaway. And then Lorenzo Lynch and Aeneas Williams go over and combined on the tackle. That's a gain of 7.
A little better field position for Brown, even though it's the 20-yard line. He's got to be wondering what's going on. You know, it wasn't this hard at Duke. I know I've signed for a lot of money, but I'd give some of that money back to not have to take over on the 2-yard line and line up in the shotgun formation.
Right now it's a 2nd down and 3 for the former Duke quarterback. Giants haven't had the ball much, as you can see. Derek Brown, the motion man, the handoff Hampton, and that will be a 1st down New York at the 31-yard line. I happened to be at Fairleigh Dickinson University in Madison, New Jersey the week that Dave Brown signed his contract after being chosen in the supplemental draft. He was laughing yesterday how he came into camp. There was no room for him. So the first week they put him in with 4 ball boys, one of whom was the son of a dear friend of mine. And Dave wanted to take the kids out to dinner the first time. He hadn't been paid yet. And he reached in his pocket. He had $5. He said, "Boys, it's Dutch Street.
I'll catch you later."
Yeah, and he did. 1st down and 10. Got him. Keith Rucker, that's a lot of got him. That's 356 acclaimed pounds of got him.
And that's his first NFL sack. Rookie free agent.
He was teasing Michael Bankston yesterday about the sack dance he was thinking about doing, and he chose to play it very casual.
Well, it looks like when he runs off the field, he's doing a sack dance. A lot of stuff moving there.
Keith Rucker, Division III Ohio Wesleyan, a free agent, and now a key part of this Cardinal defense. Meggett with the catch. Dave Meggett, who did not have a grab last week at the end of a pass, and that ended a streak of 45 consecutive games, tying the Giant record. Here's Keith Rucker.
That's his heads up by Dave Brown, trying to find number 30 in the middle here. You notice the Giants are not going from the shotgun formation on this series. But you got to find out where number 30 is and get him the ball in these situations. He's just too good, too elusive in the open field.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 5 after a gain of 8. 9-0 Cardinals lead. Brown goes deep, incomplete, intended for McCaffrey. And Massey was defending. Now there is a flag thrown on the far side of the field, near and also one back in the quarterback's area. So we have 2 flags down.
Yeah, one will be holding against the Giants. We've got a whole bunch of holding going on. This will be offsetting penalties.
Holding 61 on the offense. Holding 35 on the defense. Penalties offset. 3rd down.
Aeneas Williams for the Cardinals. Bob Cratch for the New York Giants.
And Williams was guarding the receiver on the far side of the field from where Brown was looking. And throwing, he was throwing against Robert Massey. Big mistake by the Cardinal defender.
3-man front now for the Cardinals. Eric Swann is over the center. 3:04 before halftime. 9-0 Phoenix leads. Brown goes deep right side and overshoots McCaffrey. Dexter Davis, number 21, was the closest man there. It'll be 4th down.
The one thing that Brown is going up against is a defense that is coached by one of the more creative coaches in football, and Fritz Shermer. Talked to him yesterday, and if you ever want to see a defensive coordinator's eyes light up, just tell him that you're playing a rookie quarterback. Then if you want to see him get real happy, tell him he's going to see 2 rookie quarterbacks. Fritz was a happy dude yesterday.
Yes, indeed, and even happier now. His team throwing the shutout thus far. Rodriguez is back to punt. That's a good one. That is a real good one. Blunt at the 9. And a good downfield job. Lewis Tillman, I believe it was. Cardinals. Was with John Robinson and the Rams for a long time.
And has a unique defensive philosophy. He fits his scheme to his players instead of vice versa. A lot of times you hear that you do it my way or it's the highway. Not so with Fritz Shurmur. Very flexible and creative.
First down and 10. Kroll starts in motion. Chandler across the middle in traffic, and it's incomplete. Carl Banks was covering Larry Centers, and that one didn't have much of a chance of succeeding.
Kind of a different philosophy than the Giants' Rod Rust has, where he tells his players that they have to play his system. Where with the injuries to the Cardinals, Freddie Joe Nunn and Ken Harvey, Fritz Shurmur said, hey, we need our best people on the field. I've got to create a new defense. That's where he came up with the big nickel.
And they have shut down a lot of running offenses since then. Chandler was 7 of 9 in the first half of play. There's a handoff on the draw to Larry Centers. And he's spilled at the 27-yard line. Philippi Sparks makes the tackle. Sparks playing in place of the injured Mark Collins, who went out with a rib injury in the first half. William Roberts. That offensive line of the Giants is very, very thin. Williams on injured reserve. Eric Moore did not make the trip.
Let's go.
They can't stand many injuries today. 3rd and 5 as we near the 2-minute warning. Chris Chandler elects to
come in the game when if the Giants get the ball back here at the end of the first half.
Well, they need a defensive play right now if they're going to get it back with a lot of time left. 3rd and 5, 2 minutes to go, first half. Cardinals lead 9-zip. Ernie Jones in motion. Chandler back into the flat for Eric Swann. And he's chased out of bounds by Renee Thompson, number 21.
That was a real good defensive call by Rod Rust there. They came with the blitz, putting pressure on Chandler, keeping him from finding a lane to run in, and then Renee Thompson pays it off with a sure tackle short of the first down.
That brings on Camarillo for the 3rd time. Dave Meggett waits for it in a muddy part of the field at the 29-yard line. 1:55 to go in the first half, and the Giants do have all 3 of their timeouts. Meggett is knocked down at the 34. So it will be Kent Graham back into the quarterback spot for the New York Giants when we return. And we've got the sun out right now. 1:45 remaining in the first half. Graham overshoots his intended receiver, Dave Meggett. It's incomplete.
Graham had his choice of 3 different guys on this overthrow. Unfortunately, one of them is a Phoenix Cardinal. Watch as he's trying to hit Meggett out of the backfield. Ball's going to sail over his head. Now Lynch can't make the play, and Baker can't make the play. That's 0 for 3 in one play.
And a 2nd down and 10 with 1:41 remaining. Phoenix triple the yardage on offense thus far. Blitz coming. And it was a delayed blitz that got at Graham right about the time he delivered the ball. Dave Duerson, the 4-time Pro Bowler, and Graham is down.
He really got drilled in the ribs. It is that delayed blitz, Vern, from the right side. There's Duerson, 22. Free shot, right, dead in the ribs.
With the helmet, by the way.
But that's a clean shot. There's nothing illegal about this hit by Duerson. He does lower his head, but he makes a clean tackle. And that's a rib shot that Kent Graham is feeling right now. Now we've got a question. We've tried to get word on Dave Brown. We found out that it's numbness in his right hand, but he may have to play. Graham's coming out, so we're going to see Brown.
Jeff Hostetler is on the inactive list. You see Brown holding his right wrist. Hostetler inactive with recurrent problems from a concussion. Sims, of course, is in civvies. He's on injured reserve. We asked Ray Handley last night who his disaster quarterback would be. He said either Dave Meggett or Mark Ingram. And now that they're both back and healthy, they've been fighting for that disaster quarterback spot. They've been given, Handley said, roughly 2 snaps every 3 weeks in practice.
But if you look down in that huddle right now, you don't see either of them stepping over into the quarterback's position.
No.
Giants called the timeout so Graham can stay in the game. If the referees had to call an injury timeout, then Graham would have had to go out, and then one of those disaster quarterbacks would have had to take this play.
3rd and 10. And Graham stays in. He will work out of the shotgun. 3-man rush. A lot of time. And a man open. It's Stephen Baker. Got it. No. Now they say he was out of bounds. The initial call appeared to be by Roy Clymer. Legal catch.
Well, he's got the left foot down, but he's pushed out of bounds. The right foot comes down out of bounds, but the official went up and he marked the spot as if confused as to whether he was in or not. Watch the official. It's the key play here. He's going to run to the spot and mark it right there and then decide that Baker was out of bounds.
Graham thought he had the catch, and the initial signal from the back judge was yes, and then he overruled himself. He did get it right. And now there's another play. So the Giants will punt with 1:28. Apparently will punt with 1:28 remaining in the first half. Taken by Blunt at the 25, and he doesn't get much farther. Corey Widmer makes the tackle, number 90. And there's a flag down. Flag is at the 50-yard line. 40-yard punt and 3 on the return, but there may be some changes. Penalty against the Giants.
Yeah, it's a personal foul. This is an unusual call, as Hanley's a little bit confused as to how.
We had a personal foul, number 34 on the white. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It was during the kick. It's Lewis Tillman. Let's check him out. Here he is, 34, working against Derek Ware. Ware's got a hold of the face mask, so of course Tillman's going to grab his and be the second guy. And the second guy always gets the flag.
So after the penalty on Tillman, it's a first down out at the 43. A 9-0 game. They try the screen pass and it's dropped. Intended for Blunt at the 40-yard line.
That's twice now that the Cardinals have tried that middle screen, but the Giants are aware of 2 things. Number one, they like that screen, but also Chandler is a good runner, so they're using a couple of guys to spy on Chandler at the quarterback position, so they're right in the middle of the field where the Cardinals are trying to throw that middle screen.
Cardinals have 2 timeouts left. They've got a second down and 10 at the 44. 1:14 remaining first half. 9-0. Cardinals lead. Chandler goes deep. Randall Hill. Philippi Sparks incomplete. Hill wanted a flag thrown. He's arguing his case.
And he has no case at all. The ball was well overthrown. But even if the ball had been on the mark, Sparks was all over Randall Hill. But Hill knows that this is a national game and he got a chance to take his helmet off and show everybody at home that he's looking good.
3rd and 10 coming up at halftime. Greg and Terry with scores and highlights, plus an interview with Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner, the quarterback from Miami. That's coming up 1 minute and 7 seconds from now. On 3rd and 10, Chandler goes out of the shotgun. Got it. First down, Ernie Jones. Myron Guyton with the tackle. And the Cardinals will use a timeout. A gain of 23 yards. And Phoenix gains new life with 59 seconds to go, first half. Zone. And a 5-yard run by Johnny Johnson after the ensuing free kick. And with a chance to pad the lead now. 59 seconds to go in the first half. And Phoenix with 1 timeout left. Chris Chandler is 9 of 13 for 109 yards. And the Cardinals lead by 9. That one looked awful.
Yeah, again, they're trying to run a delay up the middle, whether it's a screen or a draw. Giants have been there all day for that one.
Mike Fox with the tackle on that play. Now with only 1 timeout left, Chandler quickly calls the play. Left side at the 31-yard line.
Well,
the flag is down.
Yeah, roughing the passer. It's going to be against
Pepper Johnson, I believe.
Yeah, and he drilled Chandler in the back. A real cheap shot. Watch Johnson, 52. Chandler's going to get rid of the ball. Pepper's got a clean run. 1, 2, 3 steps, and then the shot in the back.
15-yard first down.
And fracas breaks out involving Pepper Johnson, who has been the focal point of much of the controversy surrounding the New York Giant football team in 1992.
Yeah, that's the type of penalty that happens when you're frustrated and you have a record of 5-8. That's a crucial mistake by Pepper Johnson. That'll send the Cardinals down in wonderful field position. And with still 1 timeout left, they go all the way down to the 15.
Pepper Johnson, who was publicly critical of the coaching staff, and Mark May, the veteran, longtime All-Pro guard of the Cardinals, was talking with us yesterday, and he said, I cannot imagine a Giant team with Harry Carson and George Martin and those guys allowing that kind of public statement to be made. He thinks the Giants suffer from a lack of leadership. Into the end zone, Randall Hill and Perry Williams. And it's an incomplete pass. Second down at the 15.
That penalty by Johnson just gives Chandler all types of options now. The Cardinals, of course, are in field goal range of Greg Davis, obviously, but they may not want to get too much closer. He's missed his last 2 from inside of 30 yards.
1 timeout remaining, second down and 10. Jones comes in motion to the right side. Chandler with all day. Left side, batted away by Perry Williams. Randall Hill was the intended receiver.
This is 2 plays in a row that Perry Williams has been all over Randall the Thrill Hill. Real good read of the corner route by Williams, but he's got Hill under control with both hands on him, and then just patiently waits for the ball to come in and swats it away.
Anthony Edwards comes in as a 3rd wide receiver. He and Hill go to the left side. Kroll comes right with Ernie Jones. So 4 wide receivers set. Giants look like they may be coming with a blitz. They're bringing 4. The pass across the middle. Ricky Prohl at the 5. A flag is also down. There is a flag at the 22.
It's going to be holding against the Cards.
Wipes out a first down.
Holding, number 51 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Bill Lewis, the center.
It was against that blitz you called, Vern, and Lewis right in the middle here is going to get called for the holding penalty. And it's against Carl Banks, and that's a good call by the official, our umpire, Gordon Wells.
Instead of 1st and goal at the 5, a 3rd and 20 now with 17 seconds remaining in the half. Blitz coming again. Chandler Hamilton, fumble, chased down by Keith Hamilton. Giants have it. And not realizing that there's an automatic stopping of the clock on a change of possession, Hamilton came up and wanted a timeout.
Well, he's just a rookie, Vern. Rules are a little bit different in this league, but the Cardinals were moments ago on the 5-yard line looking to go in for a score. The pressure, Rust is calling a lot of blitzes here. Chandler gets away from the pressure inside, goes out to Hamilton. Pepper Johnson knocks the ball loose, and Hamilton gets the recovery.
Now from the 46, 9 seconds to go before halftime. Cardinals in the ultimate prevent defense. They've got guys umbrellaed 40 yards downfield. This play is caught. Callaway at the 34. And Ken Willis might get a chance to try and put something on the board. Or will they go with an alley-oop play?
Well, the wind will be at his back as it comes into Sun Devil Stadium. The kick would be from about 53 yards or so.
And his career best is 54, so
I can't believe they're not even giving him a shot at it.
nope, they're going to go for the alley-oop.
Your chances of completing an alley-oop are not real good.
Graham.
And they're not real good when you throw it all the way to Scottsdale.
Why not give Ken Willis a chance? Well, at least for the moment, there are no answers. That's the end of the first. And he gets as far as the 15. Kent Graham comes back in. He went most of the first half, the 8th round draft choice, who when drafted by the Giants, moved immediately to the East Coast, spent a lot of time studying the playbook with offensive coordinator Jim Fossil. This was before the supplemental draft was held in July, and they picked Dave Brown. But the staff of the Giants liked Kent Graham from the outset. Here's Hampton. Spilled after the gain to the 22-yard line by Tim McDonald, number 46.
Well, all Hampton needs now is 2 yards to go over that 1,000-yard mark, and that would make him only the second Giant running back to have consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. The other, of course, is Joe Morris.
But think of what Phoenix has done defensively against the run in this game compared to the first one when they gave up 260 yards.
You got to give credit to Fritz Shermer for revamping his defense and going to this thing he calls the big nickel with the big boys.
Jared Bunch. That will be a first down at the 26-yard line. Eric Swann, number 98, made the tackle.
And if the Giants are going to get back into the game, it's not going to be by Graham throwing passes. It's going to be Bunch and Hampton and Meggett on third down. So it's the running backs for the Giants are going to have a big second half if the Giants are going to have any chance at all of winning this game and prolonging this man's career.
1st and 10, New York. 13:40 remaining in the third. We're just underway at the start of the third quarter. Quick flip right side. Callaway has the catch. Aeneas Williams and Lorenzo Lynch knock him out of bounds.
Good to see Williams back in the lineup. Remember, he twisted his leg at the end of the first half. He had a big year last year. Rookie year of 6 interceptions, 2 so far this year. When you get a lot of interceptions, teams have a tendency to go away from you and throw at the other cornerback, and that's Massey, and Massey's picked off 5. And the way it goes for these corners.
As you can see on the graphic, Phoenix doing an excellent job on first down defense thus far today. Average less than 4 yards. Here's the run blitz, and Hampton steps lightly to the left side. He's out to the 35, and that puts him over 1,000 yards for the season. Second straight year. The last to accomplish that in a Giant uniform was Joe Morris. Ron Johnson had 2,000-yard seasons back in 70 and 72. Morris in 85, 86. Otis in that wonderful year of 1989, and Rodney Hampton now 91 and 92. 3rd and 1. Otis Anderson is in the lineup. He's rushed only twice this year. Play action, Graham lobs it up and is picked off. Intercepted, and here goes Tim McDonald. And the All-Pro safety gets his second interception off of a ball that quacked as it started down toward the ground.
We've got Jock Jones is down on the field, Vern. He was in on that play against Graham, putting the pressure on the quarterback, and he or a teammate responsible for that ball quacking out there. It's a play action pass on third and a little bit over a yard, and McDonald's not fooled at all. There's the pressure, and the ball is just coming out like the old dying quail. And it's an easy interception for Tim McDonald. That's only his second of the year, though.
There is Tim McDonald with his second interception. Jock Jones still down at the 25.
Curious play call, though, by the Giants, going on a play action pass on just third and less than 2 yards.
Time has been called with 12:14 remaining, third. And as a result, Jock Jones is being placed on the cart to be taken directly into the locker room, where, of course, X-ray facilities are available. There is Dave Brown, and you see the tape on his right thumb. We have word from the bench that he has a fractured bone in his thumb.
But they say that he could return in case of an emergency, but having suffered a fractured thumb, myself, I know there's just no way he can grip the ball. A couple of problems involved. Number one, taking a snap from center, then gripping it to hand off, and obviously making it very difficult to throw a pass. Now, this is real unfortunate for Jock Jones, but that's why it's a contact sport.
Jock Jones, who raised his fist slightly in acknowledgement of the applause of the crowd, but in obvious agony as he's being taken into the locker room. This is a scene with which all of us cringe, having seen what happened to Dennis Bird and in previous years, of course, other serious injuries. LT being taken off 5 games ago with that Achilles tear. Here's play action. Chandler goes deep in the corner for Kroll, who is held up, and we will have a flag thrown at the 17-yard line. That was fairly obvious. Wow. Phillippe Sparks.
Now they're working over the young rookie, that's for sure.
Nice tackle.
It should just be holding, though. And this is actually a break for the Giants, because a holding penalty is just 5 yards. If they call that pass interference, they would have marked it down where the contact occurred.
5-yard penalty, first down.
It really was a smart play by Phillippe Sparks, because he was going to give up the touchdown.
Yeah, and in case you missed it, here it is right here. Sparks is going to just grab the receiver and get the flag.
Now, that was right after the hold had been made, and it's first down and 10 at the 25. 9-0, 12:08 to go, third quarter. Randall Hill goes wide to the left, and Ricky Prohl comes wide right. Chandler said of all of his receivers, he felt most comfortable throwing it to Ricky Prohl. This time he will hand it off to Johnny Johnson, who is triple teamed and down. Dorsey and Greg Jackson make the tackle. A safety and a 5-yard touchdown run, the only points in the ball game.
And you get the feeling, if the Cardinals put any more points on the board, that the Giants have no way of catching up. They came out in their first possession of the second half and were moving it well on the ground, then decided to go on a play action pass that was intercepted by Tim McDonald.
Second down and 8 at the Giant 23. Flags are down. Johnny Johnson is tackled in the middle of the line by Eric Dorsey. And Phil Sparks, the way he's reacting, I would say this is going to be against New York. Yep.
It's about 3 or 4 times now today that Chandler has used the hard count. Voice inflection.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And that's a lack of concentration on the Giants defense. Here we are. It's the 14th week of the season. And they're being pulled off sides way too many times.
Second down and 3 with 11 minutes remaining, third quarter. Driven backwards at the 15-yard line by Corey Miller, second-year man from South Carolina who was playing in the spot once occupied by LT. Lawrence Taylor is out here in California. He actually came out early to sneak in a round of golf or two, and he did. Ray Hanley said last night he wanted to know whether Ray was paying for his own hotel room or the Giants were, because if Taylor was paying for his own hotel room, then there was no curfew.
Yeah. And if he was not paying, the Giants were paying, then LT would have been in a little bit earlier.
3rd and inches. A near bobbled play, and Johnson drives inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Chandler had great difficulty getting the ball to Johnny Johnson. They wind up gaining 8.
Oh, sometimes happens. A big offensive lineman step back on the quarterback's feet. And Chandler has got Ed Cunningham as his center now. And of course, being a rookie, although he's from University of Washington, I'm sure that Chandler will blame him for that trip. He got a full face full of dirt.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 8. 9-0 Cardinals lead. They had a 14-point lead last week at home against San Diego and wound up losing. So this is not secure, but they are dominating the game. There's a handoff to Johnson at the 6. Of course, the Chargers are a team that is going in a vastly different direction from the opposition this week, the New York Giants.
Chargers have really turned things around. A lot of similarities in the way that Bobby Ross has taken that team and the way Joe Gibbs took the Redskins when he was hired by Bobby Beathard. Gibbs starts out 0-5 with the Skins. Beathard hires Bobby Ross here at San Diego, and Ross loses his first 4 before he gets the whole thing turned around.
And now they are tied for the AFC West lead after their victory here last week. 2nd and goal from the 6. Johnson on the sweep. Nice defensive job by Myron Guyton. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
You talk about perfect form tackling by Guyton. Here he is, number 29. Watch him come around here and then just square up and drill Johnny Johnson between the numbers. Reading over the top of the lineman, and then just perfect tackling position for Myron Guyton.
3rd and goal from the 7. Out of the shotgun. Into the flat. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle on Johnny Johnson, and Greg Davis will come on. Greg Davis, who was a Plan B acquisition a year ago, was one of the stars of this Cardinal team. As a matter of fact, he and Camarillo were pictured on the media guide cover, and he has had a horrendous year. 9 of 19 and 3 of 7 inside the 30.
And that just doesn't make sense at all. Talking to Chandler about it, who is his holder, it's not as if he's kicking poorly. He's just not putting it between the uprights. His form is good. It may be his alignment sometimes, where he pushes it or hooks it just a little bit too much.
He's missed from 25 twice. This is from 25. And he gets it inside the right upright. Joe Bugle's team increases Cardinals. And after all this, it comes down and is bobbled by Meggett at the 6. Out to the 21-yard line, where the New York Giant offense under Kent Graham comes back on the field. Dave Brown with a fractured bone in his thumb. Or rather, yes, fractured thumb. But we were told could be available for emergency duty if necessary.
And it would be a real emergency because he'd have to throw with his left hand. I'm not sure he can do that.
Combined, the two quarterbacks are 5 of 14 for the Giants. It has been a non-existent offense for New York. Rodney Hampton out to the 26-yard line, may make it the 25. Hampton did go over 1,000 for the year, but that is his 9th carry for a total of 34 yards.
And it's not too early to say that Giants aren't out of it. I mean, they're only down by 2 touchdowns. Only 12 points for the Cardinals, but Handley's got to be thinking they've got a lot of time left, 6.5 minutes to go here in the third, and all we need are 2 scores.
2nd and 6. Here's Bunch. Out to the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 12 and another first down.
And in talking to Handley last night, he told us that he feels good about the nucleus of this offense, and that being those 2 running backs, Bunch and Hampton, and also that offensive line. His offensive line handicapped a little bit today. They only have 6 healthy guys playing, 1 brand new guy in Chris Thome.
It'll be a first down and 10 right now. 12-0. 5:48 remaining. Here's Hampton. Down to 43. That is remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. This is a Giant team that at one point won 3 in a row, seemed to have righted itself. They were 5-4, and they have dropped 4 since LT went out. Gain of 7 on the last play.
2nd and 3 at the 44.
Talked to Ray Handley last night about what he sees as the biggest needs of the Giants. He said we need youth at linebacker, speed at wide receiver, and pass rushers. Those are the 3 areas he cited as the most prevalent pressing needs. That may be a first down. Jared Bunch with the carry.
And what he needs now is a win.
Big time.
Big time.
Gain of 4. First and 10 at the 48.
Ray Handley with 1 year remaining in his contract. Succeeded, of course, Bill Parcells. George Young, the man who signed him to that contract, said everything will be evaluated at the end of the current season. 1st and 10. Graham, deep right side, overthrows Mark Ingram. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And Giant receivers haven't gotten open a lot this year, but Ingram that time was wide open. Graham showing his inexperience and a little bit too pumped up on that one. Just let it sail way over his head.
Graham is now 3 of 11 for 29 yards. 2nd and 10. Dave Meggett comes in the lineup. Draw play, Meggett, fumble. 2nd time in the game that Meggett has popped it loose. This time he was hit by Eric Swann.
Yeah, watch number 98 right here. He's going to get into the backfield here and poke this ball loose. He beats the block of Bob Cratch. Meggett decides to take it to the outside when Cratch was blocking so that he would cut back to the inside.
Last year's #1 draft pick, Eric Swann. 3rd and 16. 12-0. Phoenix leads. All kinds of time for Graham. The pass is complete, but it will be I think short of the first down at the 43. A gain of 15. The need is 16. Fourth down.
And Hanley waves his punt team off the field. They're going to go for it on fourth down. And the Giants are pretty good at it, going for it on fourth down. In fact, they are the number 2 team in the NFL, so the Giants do things well somewhere on offense, but they have to wait till they get to fourth down to do it.
They are 7 of 10 on fourth down conversions this year. And they've got a 4th and 1 now, trailing by 12 with 3:09 to go, third quarter. And now a request for a measurement brings the chain out. That much.
Number 15. 4th and 1 at the Phoenix 40.
And mired in a 4-game losing streak, trailing by 12 with a job in the balance, they'll go for it.
Well, Ray must go for it.
Fourth and 1. Well, I don't know. Hampton, he's not going to get a very good spot here. Rodney Hampton came left, jammed up, slid off, went to the outside. And the spot would appear not favorable to Ray Handley and the Giants. Jumbo Elliott can't believe it.
And running behind Jumbo Elliott, and it appeared the Cardinals knew exactly what Handley had in mind. The block here across a little bit late off the ball, but a tremendous job by the inside plugging linebacker. Stuns the fullback bunch and prevents Hampton from picking up the first down.
12-0 Phoenix, and they've gotten the ball back.
Hampton to bounce it outside where Lorenzo Lynch will make the tackle. But an outstanding job of filling the hole by the inside linebacker Tyrone Stowe.
And a first down after that outstanding play for the Phoenix Cardinals. 2:51 to go, third quarter. Walter Reed's in motion. Johnson drives it out to the 48-yard line. Might have gotten the 49. Phoenix with victories this year over the Washington Redskins here, San Francisco here, and at Los Angeles. But in the throes of a 4-game losing streak, they lost by 3 points at Atlanta. They lost here to Dallas by 6. The only blowout in that string of 4 was at Washington, where they were humiliated 41-3.
Chris Chandler, their quarterback, didn't play in that one. Rosenbaugh went in through 4 picks.
2nd and 4. Cardinals near midfield at their own 49. 2:05 to go, third quarter. Johnson. And the surge carries him across the 50 to the 48-yard line of the New York Giants. An 11-minute edge for Phoenix in time of possession. Giant defense has been on the field for a long time.
And that's a big offensive line the Cardinals have, and a big running back they're giving it to each time. The thing that Bugle knows now is the only way that he can lose this game is if they have a turnover. So if you eliminate throwing the ball, you eliminate the interception. You give it to your big fullback or tailback in Johnson. Tell him to just wrap it up and run straight up and down the field.
3rd and 1. Ed Reynolds makes the tackle on Johnson, but that would be enough to move the first down. That's a gain of 2.
Yeah, Johnson's been criticized as being too much of an upright runner. That time, realizing he just needed a yard or so, he got real low, got down there beneath or lower than Reynolds, and may have picked up the first down. Watch as he hits this hole. He'll drop those shoulders and get underneath the linebacker, fall forward, and get close to the first down marker.
Request for the measurement brings the chain out. And it is indeed a first down, Phoenix. Joe Bugel, the longtime line coach of the Washington Redskins. Joe has been here 3 years. He is in the third of a 4-year contract. There has been as much speculation in the Phoenix area and nationally about his circumstance as there has been about Ray Handley's. Perhaps the spotlight has not been as harsh as it is in New York, but a lot of speculation about Bugel, who seems safer than does Ray Handley. And here's Johnson on the right side. They will keep it on the ground and try and chew out more off the clock.
And the thing you don't hear from the Cardinal players as you hear from the Giant players, is you don't hear a lot of complaining about Bugel or his staff. In fact, Mark May told us yesterday that, hey, Joe Bugel is a good man. We respect what he's doing. He has a wonderful staff here together. And yes, we do feel as if we're playing for his job right now.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Phoenix Cardinals 12, the New York Giants zip. Johnson breaks into the secondary. It's a foot race, and Philippi Sparks can't make the tackle. Touchdown. His previous longest run of the season was 13 yards. 42 on that one. He goes over 100 for the second time this year.
The Giants have got a blitz, so that's what they're going to do on this play. Guyton from the left side, and Johnson is just too big and strong for Philippi Sparks, who has a shot at him at about the 10. He nonchalantly steps over the top and into the end zone.
Hands are there to use. But he went for the shoulder. And Johnny Johnson gets his second touchdown of the day. His longest run of the season. He's got 118 yards on 25 carries. Greg Davis's extra point is in.
Behind that left side, Mark May, Luis Sharp, and there's nothing but goal line and a little tiny defensive back in Johnson's way.
After he missed the shoulder tackle on Johnny Johnson, he used his hands 5 seconds too late.
Not a happy homecoming for Sparks, who played here at Sun Devil Stadium for Arizona State.
42-yard run, the longest of the year for Johnny Johnson. And the Cardinals are up by 19 with 14:52 to go.
The reason the Cardinals use this scatter type of formation is to confuse the blocking of the Giants. The key, though, as always, is a good high, long kickoff that goes out of bounds.
And that wasn't one. That'll come out to the 35-yard line. Coming up tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time, the NFL Today, followed by Game 1 of the doubleheader. Most of you will see San Francisco, Minnesota. Then later on, it's Jimmy Johnson and Joe Gibbs, Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys in a rematch with the Redskins at RFK. That's the late game that most of you will see tomorrow afternoon. You think the Cardinals have not had much of a ground game. That is the longest touchdown run in 56 games for the Phoenix Cardinals. And here's Graham back to throw. That one is incomplete to a wide open Chris Callaway at the 47-yard line. Ray Handley's Giants trailing by 19. The last time the Giants were shut out a little over 12 years ago. The crowd, well, it seats over 70,000, Sun Devil Stadium. And the announced crowd today, 28,452, third time this year the Cardinals have played before fewer than 30,000. That run around the right side of the 45-yard line, and Mike Jones makes the tackle on Rodney Hampton.
So one of the bright spots for the Giants, at least they're not having to play at home in all that bad weather along the East Coast.
New York left the Newark airport yesterday morning. They were scheduled out at 9 o'clock, and they actually were only 5 minutes late. A lot of the players had problems getting to the airport. Nobody missed the charter flight, and they were here on time. Getting home may be a little difficult tonight with the weather problems back in the East. In the right side, Hampton is drilled by Aeneas Williams. It's incomplete.
Well, Rodney Hampton is real lucky that he's not hurt on this play. His rookie quarterback kind of sets him up for a free shot by a defensive back. But Hampton's got a little heft to him, 215. And he just brushes off that tackle by Aeneas Williams.
2nd down and 10. Comes right. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Steve Hike.
One thing defenders are taught is if you can't get to the quarterback, keep your eyes on him, and when he starts to throw the ball, jump up in the air and knock it down. Nice job by Hike that time. That frustrates a quarterback almost as much as being sacked.
3rd and 10. Graham 4 for 15 for 54 yards.
Not exactly Otto Graham statistics.
Catch is made on the left side, but far short of the first down. Aeneas Williams with the tackle. A gain of only 3, and they needed 10. And the Giants will be forced to punt.
And the Cardinals know that they can get out of last place this season. They can overtake the Giants, but the first part of it is winning today, and they're well on their way of doing that.
Rodriguez's punt, fair catch, called at the 9-yard line by Eric Blunt. We'll return to Sun Devil Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Play the Phoenix Cardinals throwing a shutout at the Giants. Half the crowd here are Giant fans, and there are a lot of New York signs, including a take on something heard around Giant Stadium a lot.
They didn't hear that in Phoenix part, though.
No. Keith Rucker. Cardinals first down at the 10. Johnny Johnson going for a career-high rushing total. Won't get it on that carry.
Tackled by Miller.
Well, when a team rushes well, they usually win the game. Look at this. In their 10 losses, they've averaged 68 yards a game. In their 3 wins, 119. And today they're up around 150, 145 so far today.
And Johnny Johnson has 118. So just that's the way it goes in the NFL. If you run the ball well, you're going to have a lot of success.
Second time this season over 100 yards, a career long of 42 on the last touchdown. And the clock shows 12:17 and running. Johnson out near the 13-yard line. It'd be a gain of 4.
By Marshall.
Kent Graham calling for help.
Yeah, dial a prayer. He's probably calling Brown's doctor saying, now how bad is that finger broken anyway? That,
right.
that thumb.
Third down. Graham is 5 of 16 in the ball game. Before a sparse house here in Tempe, Arizona. 3rd and 6. 11:30 remaining in the game. Chandler comes near side. It's caught by Eric Blunt, first down at the 32-yard line. Eric Blunt, the rookie from North Carolina.
This is going to be his first NFL catch, too, Vern. Here he is in the backfield. He's just going to circle out down the sidelines, and Chandler throws a real catchable soft pass. Mismatch on the linebacker, Pepper Johnson. And Blunt will remember this one the rest of his life, his first NFL catch.
That's a first down at the 32 and gives the Cardinals a chance to work on the clock some more. 10:53 remaining in the game. So barring a really unexpected turnaround, the Phoenix Cardinals are going to win their 4th, and the Giants will lose their 5th in a row. Up the middle, Johnson. And he has now established a career high in yards rushed in the game. 135.
And he's getting a lot of help from some real poor tackling on this Giant defense. Right up the middle as he cuts it up inside the block of Mark May, and then just arm tackling and forward momentum going down the field. As a defense, you want to stop that runner and push him back. Giants aren't doing that at all today.
During the 4-game losing streak coming in today, the Giants had been giving up an average of 167 yards in the ground, and the Cardinals are right at that number. Really close. So the defensive woes continue for the New York Giants. 5 on that play. Ray Hanley, who brought Rod Rust in this year after the players had complained about Al Groh the year before that. And of course, Belichick, who was the defensive coordinator, took the job in Cleveland.
2nd and 5.
And
once players lose respect and confidence in a system, very difficult to get that back, especially when they've had success in a system that Belichick had with Parcells that was so totally different.
I like the point you made about Fritz Shurmur and how he adapted a system to the player personnel that he had. Here's the handoff on the left side, inside the 50 to the 47. Fritz Shurmur is the defensive coordinator of the Phoenix Cardinals. And of course, many feel like he was made a scapegoat at one time with the Los Angeles Rams and their problems.
Yeah, it's funny the way things work in the NFL. A lot of it has to do with players, and the teams with the better players seem to win a lot more. But when you are down in personnel, you do have to make some changes. And once you lose great players such as Freddie Joe Nunn and Ken Harvey, Shurmur was forced to make some changes, and his changes have been successful because he's fit his players to his new system.
That was Rod Rust, the defensive coordinator of the Giants, who filled the screen a moment ago. 3rd and short, first down. There's a busted play. Larry centers and Chandler ran into each other. It'll be 4th down. And the Cardinals will give it up.
It looked like the Cardinals are trying to run the counter play behind Smith and Villa, but the big play there by Hamilton gets in there and destroys the interference for centers. He's got nothing.
That'll bring up a 4th and 5. And Camarillo will punt for the 4th time today. Meggett waits for it at the 10. .7:27 remaining in the ball game. Nice punt. Maybe too much. That could go into the end zone. It does. Touchback. It will come out to the 20. 50-yard punt for Camarillo. Distance, assuming no further injury. He was shaken up earlier in the game. Graham pumps once, avoids the sack, and then he is popped out of bounds. What a hit. Steve Hike.
Loss of 5.
Well, Heitch is hitting a quarterback, but he's hitting a real big one. 6'5" and about 220. Full-on shot, and Graham is starting to start learning how to head for that sidelines. He's the only Giant quarterback left.
Pretty decent tackle, huh? Second down. Graham goes out of the shotgun, wants to throw a screen. That one was messed up by David Braxton at the start. There's also a flag down.
And the timing thrown way off by that good coverage by Braxton.
That was Chris Chandler with the ice and the elbow on the Cardinal bench.
You would suspect the Giants had some offensive linemen downfield on that screen. Or maybe not.
Offensive interference.
Offensive pass interference, number 80. Penalty is declined. Third down.
And that's a case of a receiver knowing it's a screen pass, and he's going down and blocking the corner, expecting the ball to be already in the hands of the receiving, the back in that case. But because of the tight coverage by Braxton, Graham should have just thrown the ball away. But Callaway gets called for the pass interference on a screen play.
And now it's 3rd and 20. Graham at the goal line. A lot of time. Goes deep for McCaffrey. Double coverage picked off by Zordich. That was actually triple coverage. And he threw it right in the arms of Mike Zordich, who gets his 2nd interception of the season.
And you wonder why the Giants' leading pass receiver has only one ball thrown to him all day. Well, this is it. McCaffrey came in leading the Giants in receiving. Well, the Cardinals know it, so they're going to double team him. That's a perfect job of playing center field by your weak safety as Zordich picks up his 2nd interception of the year.
No better way to face the day.
It's another non-stop day, so start out with Speed Stick, the wide stick. It's long-lasting protection against wetness and odor. It's 110% protection that helps you feel cool and confident all day. That's why more men face their day with Speed Stick.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Back to play, 1st down and 10 after the intercepted pass. 6:06 remaining in regulation play. Here's the handoff to Johnson. He comes behind Luis Sharp and Mark May on the left side. Mark May, who was an All-Pro with the Redskins out of Pittsburgh, been in the league for 12 years. Plan B acquisition from San Diego. He was telling us yesterday how when he was a senior at Pitt, he recruited a young high school player out of the Detroit area. And his name was Luis Sharp. Now they are teammates.
Must not have done a very good job of recruiting Luis, because he decided to go to UCLA. But here they are a whole bunch of years later playing side by side. May feels so comfortable having Sharp next to him, he calls him his left hand.
Tim Rosenbaum warming up on the sideline. We might see him. Carl Banks with the tackle.
Excuse me, Vern, but you notice where the Cardinals are concentrating their running attack behind their left side of Sharp and May. And of course, that's where Johnson went 42 yards for the decisive touchdown. Or was it that safety that were the decisive points today?
That could have been. Here's Cunningham getting up and limping, number 59, who's in there in place of Bill Lewis. And Lewis was handicapped coming in. We had told you earlier that the last time the Giants had been shut out was in 1980. That was in regular season. They last suffered a shutout in the playoffs in 1985 to the Chicago Bears. 3rd and 3, 4:30 remaining in the game. Cardinals will break their 4-game losing streak. Johnny Johnson comes left to the 49-yard line, and he picks up 5. Rodney Hampton, 51 yards today, but he would trade it all for the miserable feeling I'm sure that he has right now with the Giants on the verge of losing and going to 5-9 for the season.
And wouldn't the Cardinals just love to overtake the Giants in the standings and get out of that NFC East cellar for once? New quarterback.
Rosenbaugh, who was booed here last time he was on the field, so the few who remain are cheering him. And Chris Chandler, a fine day, 12 of 18 for 130 yards and throwing the ball. And Danny Villa has moved in at center for the Cardinals. Here's Johnson, his 34th carry of the day. Well, the Cardinals will trail the Giants by a game after today. The Giants have Kansas City at home next Saturday, and then they are at Philadelphia. And Phoenix is at Indianapolis, and then they get the Buccaneers at home.
And the difference here is both these teams are fighting for playoff spots. Both these teams are not. So then you look for incentive. Well, the Cardinals have the incentive of wanting to finish ahead of the Giants. The Giants' incentive, hard to tell.
2nd and 10. 2:50 remaining in the game. And the ball is taken by Johnson inside the 50 to the 49.
This is about 6 running plays on this drive for the Cardinals, and they've all been the same play. Turn around, hand it to Johnson, and let him run behind Sharp and May. And Johnson's got to be wondering, Coach, isn't there another play we can run?
I'm not sure Graham and Ingram want the ball back. There's Keith Rucker, Division III at Ohio Wesleyan a year ago. Came to camp as an undrafted free agent. Moved here in June, said he knew the only way he had any shot was to be a participant in the off-season program until training camp started, and then made the roster and now is an integral part of this big nickel defense of defensive coordinator Fritz Sherman. 2-minute warning. Rutgers of regulation play. Phoenix on top 19-0, which eases the pain in Chris Chandler's right elbow just a little bit, I would think. Stacy Dillard and the Giants defense on the field. Ball at the 50, 3rd down. 2 minutes to go. Cardinals are about to defeat New York and win their first game ever on national television since they moved here from St. Louis. Here's the handoff up the middle. It'll be 4th down. Mike Fox makes the tackle. Ray Hanley and the Giants use a timeout. Stops the clock with 1:53 remaining. They've got 2 timeouts left.
The 42nd timeout.
And they have to do something on special teams here. You would think that they would go after Camarillo. Try to get some type of punt block, get the ball back and score. Obviously their offense is incapable of putting any points up today.
Camarillo will go back to punt again. A 19-0 edge. Carl Banks and the Giants, that long, long plane ride home. Meggett waits for the ball at the 10-yard line. Giants were lined up offside. This one will come back if the Cardinals so decide, but they may not want to. It's down at the 1. Joe Bugle said, don't take the penalty.
Yeah, pin him back there. Anthony Edwards got down under it, pushed it back onto the playing field where the Cardinals killed it inside the 2.
Offside on the defense, the nose tackle, lined up in the neutral zone, penalty declined.
48 yards on the punt, the ball down at the 2-yard line.
Camarillo came into today's game as the leading punter in the NFL as far as net average is concerned. He got a big boost from his special teammates that time.
1:40 left in regulation time.
Riding fist bumps is not good for my lunch. Bouncing my...
Every hour, we select a Chevy Cavalier to take a memorable trip at the factory over a very sophisticated bumpy road. We call it the squeak and rattle track, and it's one man's job to test Cavaliers and find problems before they get to you. It's a rough job, but someone's got to do it. Surprised that Chevy has a road, a test, and a man like this? You shouldn't be. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
Man, I'm having a problem with this thing.
Ask the brain.
For anyone who ever had to put anything together under pressure, we've got something special for you. The KFC Holiday Meal Deal. Feed a family of 4 with our delicious chicken, large mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and 4 hot baked biscuits.
Where does this
Plus,
go?
you get a free savings book worth up to $75 on selected Mattel toys at Toys R Us or participating retailers. The KFC Special $9.99 Holiday Meal Deal.
When your batteries are performing, you're on top of the world. But you never know when they're about to take a fall. Only Duracell has the Copper Top Battery Tester, so you can be sure your batteries will be riding high. You can't top the Copper Top.
When it comes to camcorders, always ask the right question. Like who delivers the finest picture and sound? Who lets you record 5 times longer than VHS-C? Who has all the answers? Without question, Handycam from Sony.
Taking time off from his job as a bank president. One of the wild cards is doing whatever he's doing in the end zone. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Giants and the Cardinals, and the National Football League is prohibited. Megan and Braxton hauls him down from behind. Graham will call timeout and stop the clock with 1:28 remaining. Tonight on CBS begins at 8 o'clock Eastern with the CBS Saturday movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's Street Stories. That is all tonight on CBS. Happy day for the Cardinals. Johnny Johnson with a career high of 156 yards for Mike Fox and the Giants. Long days continue. I would guess that roughly half of this very small crowd of 28,000 came because they are Giant fans.
And a lot of blue shirts and jackets in this crowd today. And if you want, I'll count them for you and let you know.
2nd and 6. Meggett drops it. Graham sidearmed it to him. Stops the clock with 1:23 to go. Our game this afternoon from Phoenix was produced by David Winter and directed by Andy J. Kindle. The coordinating producer of the NFL today is Eric Mann. The director is Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. A long and difficult year for the Giants will continue. And the Cardinals, that ball tipped and incomplete on 3rd down, and that brings up 4th. New York will miss the playoffs.
Well, it's mathematical, and it doesn't matter what Atlanta does tomorrow now, Vern. The Giants are out of it.
I know all those folks on the eastern side of the Hudson were waiting that Falcon game with great anticipation. Watch out. Stowe's got part of it.
That's too cold for that.
Yeah, let the big man do it. And that was on Fritz Shermer and not on Joe Bugle.
Joe Bugle liked it as much as anybody. Here's the punt. Blunt picks it up. And is down at the 45-yard line. Well, the one thing that we had been told by this Phoenix Cardinal group is that no one here had lost their enthusiasm for the game. And that has been obvious in the way they have played today and how they are celebrating this victory.
Now there's Fritz Shermer getting a hug from Dave Dorson, a former Giant who can appreciate the way things have gone for the Cardinals. They believe in Joe Bugle and Fritz Shermer on that defense.
Dave's wife and kids are back in the Chicago area where he maintains a home. Said that has made it a very difficult season for him, but this will ease the sting a little bit. 1:07 to go. I would think the most unpleasant place in this immediate vicinity would be aboard the Giant charter back to New York tonight.
And all the uncertainty that awaits the Giants, not only in the weather, but in their football future. Dave Brown with a broken right thumb. How bad can it get for Handley's team?
.35 seconds remaining in this one. This is Joe Bugle's first win over the New York Giants as head coach of the Cardinals. And they win it convincingly. Nearly 300 yards of offense. They hold the Giants to 138. Joe Bugle wins his 4th of the season. Ray Handley loses his 9th of the year. And the Phoenix Cardinals go to 4-10. The Giants drop to 5-9.
Could host the AFC title game even with an 0-4 start. But we'll figure it out in the next couple of weeks. For Tom Jackson and Robin Roberts, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Primetime. A game of huge playoff import. The Packers at the Oilers. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann with the call. Gentlemen.
Chris, thank you very much. This is the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, where a sellout crowd of 62,000 plus has come to see a pair of teams fighting for the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers and the Houston Oilers.
1, 2, 3, 4, Bargain Shark attack. The pack is back. Bargain Shark attack. The pack is back.
I think they get an understanding of what type of player they're going up against. A guy who, you know, for 3 or 4 seconds is a guy you really don't want to face.
He's a great competitor, for starters. He really has a great field presence. He understands the game. He doesn't get rattled. He keeps his cool.
I'm never going to give up. And the guys, they feed off that. And I'll do anything it takes to win. And to me, that's the biggest asset you can have.
Bargain Shark attack. The pack is back. Bargain Shark attack. The pack is back.
Today's upsets have added tremendous drama to the playoff picture. Green Bay can close to within a game of the Vikings in the NFC Central with a win tonight. And they play Minnesota in the final game of the year. Even if they don't win the division, they have wild card hopes. In the AFC Central, the Oilers are almost in as a wild card, but now they have a shot at the division if the Steelers do the unthinkable and lose their last 2. If it ends in a tie, Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you from the Astrodome. Rookie head coach Mike Holmgren has done one of the best coaching jobs in the NFL. After a 2-5 start, the Packers have won 5 of their last 6, including 4 in a row. And Joe, for the first time since 1982, they have a shot at the playoffs.
Mike, you know, the big reason for the resurgence has been largely because of the play of 2 guys. One a bona fide star and the other an emerging star. Sterling Sharp has averaged 70 catches a year over the last 4 seasons, and his 88 this year have him on a pace to break Art Monk's 106. He truly is Green Bay's big play guy, and he really makes things happen once he gets his hands on the ball. He's a total package, big, strong, tough, and fast enough. Now, Brett Favre is the 4th-rated quarterback in the league, but the numbers don't quite tell the total story of how impressive he's been. Of the 8 interceptions, 5 came in 2 games. I mean, he's quickly earned the respect of a lot of coaches around the league. Jack Pardee says Favre reminds him of Marino. Jim Eddy, the Oilers defensive coordinator, says he looks like Montana. But what I love about the kid is he's tough, and that carries over to his ball club.
You know, a lot of people thought the Oilers would be better than 8-5 at this point, but as Jack Pardee put it, every game has been a struggle for them. Tonight, they will not have offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. He underwent successful cancer surgery this week. How is that going to affect the run and shoot?
Well, without Kevin, the play calling duties go to Chris Palmer, the wide receiver coach, who will be upstairs in the booth. Now, he'll send the plays down onto the field to Coach Warren Moon on the sidelines, who will then signal them in to Cody Carlson on the field. Ultimately, though, the load falls on Cody's shoulders. This is his 4th consecutive start, and Green Bay will throw a lot of different defensive looks at him. But the key to the game for the Oilers is not what Cody does with his arm, but what he does with his head. Tonight, deciding things like run or pass become paramount.
There is a playoff atmosphere here at the Astrodome in Houston. 62,000 plus, hoping their Oilers can go to 9-5. Chris Jackie to kick it off. Pat Coleman, 87. Spencer Tillman, 32. Wait at the goal line. Huge game for both ball clubs. Coleman at the 6. And racked up shy of the 20. There's a flag down. And the Packers, the 4th best kick coverage team in the NFL, did the job again. Referee tonight, Ed Hockley. And the Packers were offside on the kickoff.
How often do you see that call? I'll bet you if you polled every kickoff team.
Offsides on the kickoff by the kickoff team number 21. 5-yard penalty or re-kick.
I bet you if you polled and took a look at a lot of different kickoff teams, you would find that a lot of guys are just an inch or so far ahead.
Special teams coach for the Oilers, Richard Smith, exhorting his troops. Carl Carter was the guilty party for the Packers. And Nolan Cromwell is the special teams coach, the longtime star in the secondary with the Los Angeles Rams. They have changed the way they want Jackie to kick off. They want him to kick the ball high and kick it into a corner and limit the returns.
Well, it supposedly kicks to the 3rd of a field. You can kick down the middle, you can kick right of the hash or left of the hash. That puts a lot of pressure on the guys running from the offside. So they have to try and get way down to get to a contained position.
Jackie will do it again. Tillman fumbled the ball at the 4, and he's out of bounds. A major mistake by Tillman, who forgot where he was.
If he lets this bounce, there's a real good chance it goes out of bounds. Look at his left foot. Look, watch his left foot. See it? He doesn't really have possession, but he still touches the ball, so he's still out of bounds. Now they mark it at the 4.
So Houston starts in a real hole. And Cody Carlson brings them out.
Oilers will start on their home.
Lorenzo White, the single setback. The 1,000-yard rusher. Carlson throws sideline to Givens, complete. Roland Mitchell took him out of bounds. Let's take a look at that Houston offense. Carlson has taken over for the injured Warren Moon, completing nearly 70% of his passes. Against Detroit, he was the conference player of the week. Haywood Jeffrey started in the Pro Bowl last year. Now he has a chance to become the first player with back-to-back 100-catch seasons. Up front, Bruce Matthews, a Pro Bowler at center. After an all-star career at guard, he has tremendous versatility. And overall, this is a very good offensive line. That's Chris Palmer, the acting offensive coordinator, and coach Warren Moon for at least 2 more weeks. Carlson under pressure, and he's sacked. Bryce Pop, number 95, gets his 6th sack of the season, make him 6.5 for the year.
Left side of your screen, the Packers only rushed 3. Excellent job. They drop 8 into coverage. Cody Carlson just doesn't have enough time to unload it. Ray Rhodes right in the middle. There's Coach Ray with the towel over him. He does sweat a little bit. New experience for him being up in the booth.
3rd and 4. Quick out complete to Jeffries at the 15-yard line. He has just enough for the first down. Vinnie Clark on the stop. You can't stop that. For the Packers on defense, they're playing much better during the streak after a slow start. Matt Brock leads the down lineman with 4 sacks. Tony Bennett was the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month for November. 12.5 sacks. That's number 5 in the league. And Terrell Buckley gives them great speed in the secondary. He was their number 1 draft choice out of Florida State. Tony Bennett, because he has played for a losing team and in a market that is not normally on national television, does not get as much publicity as he richly deserves. White for the first try. Lorenzo White about 5 near the 20.
You know, Mike, 1990 when the run and shoot really came in, you look at the average catch on the wide receivers, it's like 16, 17 yards. Defenses decided they don't want to give up the big plays anymore, so they've really turned the run and shoot into a dink and dunk offense. As we watch Warren Moon, he's even got a little cheat sheet. He's got to check and see what he signaled in. He says, wait a second, did I signal that in? Let me see what I have here.
And Warren Moon was one of the first guys to admit that that kind of defense was frustrating to him. White again. Near another first down at the 24. George Kuntz was in there along with Johnny Holland. Lorenzo White over 1,000 yards this time. Mike Rozier, the last 1,000-yard rusher in 1988 for the Houston Oilers.
When I talked to Lorenzo, you know, it really is amazing. He said the one big difference in him this year is he's learned to be patient. He doesn't get to the line as much. He gives the opportunity for the line to create holes.
This is the number 3 offense in the NFL. White trying to get the first down. The ball lands squarely on the 25-yard line. That should be just enough. Johnny Holland, the leading tackler, again with a stop. Can't say enough about Cody Carlson, the way he has come off the bench and played in relief of Warren Moon. If he does not play well, they could already be out of the playoffs.
67% passing for not having an opportunity to work a lot.
Opening possession of the ball game from the Astrodome. White straight up the middle. Holland makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 7.
It surprises me a little bit that the Oilers are having the success they are moving the football, because Green Bay played Detroit last week, which is a run and shoot football team. So they get them back to back. And as far as film study goes, defensively, it gives them a little bit more of an advantage to see a similar type of formation, although the plays are a little bit different from a preparation standpoint. And they only, the 2 of the 3 teams that run any style of the run and shoot, they get them back to back.
One thing that hurts them, they lost Leroy Butler in the secondary. In the last place you want to lose a guy in the secondary is against the run and shoot when you have to use so many DBs. Carlson with time.
Jeffries, what a catch!
Now they say it's incomplete. Couldn't hold it as he came down at the 32. Vinnie Clark in coverage. There's a penalty marker down. And it will go against the Oilers.
Johnny Holland acting as the captain on the field after he gets a signal from Mike Holmgren.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Vinnie Clark up against Haywood Jeffries. Just his little shake of the shoulder is what did it. He was the one who was in motion. Now, this ball's thrown outside. He likes to do it. He likes to get his hands out away from his body to try and make reception.
2nd and 8 after the penalty. Comes the blitz. Carlson unloads to White on the screen. Midfield and to the Packer 48-yard line where Carl Carter made the tackle. Couldn't ask for a better call against the blitz.
Absolutely. And if you can free up the only back you have back there and he doesn't have pickup responsibility, they rush 6. You see Lorenzo slide out to the left side of your screen. Now he's got a convoy in front of him, and that's a big convoy. They're knocking people all over. Cuts back across the field. Mike Munchak, number 63, picks up Bennett. That helps free Cody to slide to the right to make the completion for the big game.
Munchak, a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's been playing this year with a bad back. And now Gary Brown, number 33, checks in to give White a breather. And Carlson sees something he doesn't like. Wants a timeout with 9:08 to go first quarter. Scoreless game from the Astrodome.
Just try Black & Decker's Power Driver with torque control. You'll notice one major difference, the clutch. The higher the setting, the more powerful it gets. Power Driver and Power Driver with torque control from Black & Decker.
Until now, watches were really hard to read in the dark, which gave us an idea. Introducing the Indiglo Nightlight, only from Timex.
A test drive, 6 miles on smooth roads. If I was only driving 6 miles on smooth roads, I'd buy a bike. I'd get in shape. Let me test drive in rush hour traffic so I can see if it'll last like a Subaru. Let me test drive it to snowy Alaska so I can see if it has all-wheel drive like a Legacy. Don't take me around the block. Let's get it to 50 and slam the brakes so I can see if it offers anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. Test drives aren't real. What's real is the money I'm spending. Show me, tell me, I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
Radio Shack, there's more to the name. Top electronics, computers and games. More products and service than ever before. It's all from America's technology store. The best in America, Radio Shack. Nobody compares to Radio Shack. Names you can trust, products you know. A service you count on, there's one place to go. For the best in America, Radio Shack.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. By Subaru, it's what to drive. And by Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
And we certainly join in that message to Kevin Gilbride, the Houston offensive coordinator who underwent successful cancer surgery this week here in Houston. Had a kidney and part of a rib removed. He hopes to be back within 3 weeks.
If knowing Kevin, he will. Get well soon, pal.
1st and 10 Oilers in Packer territory. Carlson for Jeffries, and it's broken up. Tim Hawk and Vinnie Clark in a double team.
This is a 4-1-6 defense by the Green Bay Packers. They employ 4 linemen, 1 linebacker, and there are your 6 DBs right here. Now this ball's going to go up top. Hawk does a nice job. reads Cody's eyes, breaks on the ball. Haywood trying to make a play on it. Both of them get there.
May have gotten there a little early.
Well, you see, he's making a play on the ball.
Right.
That's okay. You know, that's incidental contact when you're trying to make a play on the ball.
2nd and 10, 9:02 to go opening period. Lorenzo White caught from behind and dropped. Matt Brock. Nice play from his left defensive end spot. 4-year veteran out of Oregon.
Ray Rhodes told us yesterday, he said, we are going to be aggressive on defense. So far, he's employed a 3-down line, 4-down line, blitzing inside linebackers, bringing 5 people, dropping 8. He's changing it up constantly for Cody Carlson.
Play of this drive coming up, 6.5 minutes off the first quarter clock already. Carlson deep again. Overthrows Jeffries this time, and once again, Hawk and Clark had him sandwiched.
He's getting the one-on-one matchups against Vinnie Clark. That's what you look for as far as a quarterback goes. And Cody Carlson is a little bit different than Warren Moon. Cody will try and push the ball up the field. This is just a straight go. They want Haywood to try and outrun Vinny. Good coverage. Ball was put away. Good decision by the quarterback.
The injured player is Bryce Popp. Yeah, he's been very effective in the pass rush.
Goes down. David Williams uses the old leg whip.
Caught him right on the knee. And Pop up running off. Greg Montgomery, who leads the National Football League with that 45-7 average. And Robert Brooks back to take the punt. Where is Terrell Buckley, you ask? He is on the bench because of fumbling problems.
And during warm-ups, he was still having fumbling problems. He was still letting the ball get through his hands.
Of course, when we talked to him the other night, he knew we were going to talk about the fumbles and really didn't want us to. But we'll talk about the good things, too. Montgomery, beautiful kick. And it makes the end zone, just. 52 yards, no return, and the Packers will start from the 20.
Dinner or late night, Chicago Connection is the better pizza.
The American dream is alive and well. You'll find the American spirit in the way we work, the way we play, and in all of Shiloh Inn's people, dedicated to offering you affordable excellence in the American tradition of hospitality.
Twin Cities Toyota Superstore says yes to low monthly payments.
Yes.
With 93 Corollas now just $179 a month.
No money down.
The 93 Corolla totally redesigned.
It's not the ordinary import car. This Corolla is special, and so is the low monthly payment of $179.
So, for low Toyota prices,
shop the Superstore. Twin Cities Toyota.
Green Bay and Houston, 0-0 first quarter, 8:01 left in the period. The first receiver ever to reach the rare mark of 100 receptions was Lionel Taylor.